What's going on YouTube? Welcome to the video. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. So in this video, I am going to be optimizing a Amazon PPC campaign, running a demo for you and showing you my 5-step approach to simple optimization for beginners. Now, when you start selling on Amazon, it's inevitable you'll be running PPC campaigns. As part of that, you should be downloading your search term reports and doing some basic optimization. So I want to walk you through how to do it. I know it can be a bit daunting as a beginner. There's so much terminology. You've got your impressions, your CPR, CPC, ROI, ACOS, TACOS. The list is this long, right the way down to the floor, and people end up just not bothering to do it or hiring external freelancers to do it for them because it's too complex. But we're going to try and simplify a part of optimization for you today, and I hope it helps get you an increased return on ad spend. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, please like, comment, and subscribe. If this works for you, please comment below, let me know what happened, and I'll see you in the next one. Right guys, so as I mentioned, I'm going to be keeping this very short, very simple, actionable things that you can follow me yourself within your advertising search term report, and you can optimize it with me. Now, I'll be giving some explanations for the reasoning behind why I'm doing what I'm doing, and hopefully it'll make a lot of sense to you. So we'll begin, go into your Seller Central, log in, enter your advertising section on the left-hand side, and click on measurements and reporting, which will bring you to this page. Now we're going to be downloading your sponsored products search term report. Now the search term report is provided by Amazon. It's going to give you lots of different metrics for you to be able to measure the performance of your campaigns and ultimately make decisions to improve the efficiency of those campaigns and generate more sales for you, more money for you, more money for Amazon. So it's a very useful report. If you've not done this before, I highly recommend doing it. So the longer reporting period, the better. If you ran it for a day, you could have some anomalies in there. You might have a keyword that's got a fantastic ACOS, but it is just something that's happened just as a one-off. If we look at over a longer period of time, you're able to see patterns, identify trends, and generally just have a better picture and more data to be able to make decisions based on. So we'll run it for 30 days and click Run Report. Now, once you've generated that report, my next piece of advice would be to use Microsoft Excel. It generally, from my experience, is best equipped for you to be able to run this optimization process I'll be walking you through. There are other programs that work, but this just is really easy to use. So if you've got Excel, go and open that up and open your search term report in there. You'll be presented with what we see in front of us, something to this effect, something similar. Now, I'm not going to run through what all of these mean because this video will end up being about 30 minutes long, but I am going to talk about the most important sections that will be applicable and help me explain why I'm doing what I'm doing. So if we look here at the customer search term, these are the search terms for your product that have been sponsored, that have fired for your advertising campaign, that you've now been presented with some data from Amazon for. So for example, if you were selling a spatula, you may have sponsored the search term spatula, and a customer has typed that in, and it has generated some data here for you to analyze and make decisions based on. Now, if we have a look over on this side, we have the total advertising cost of sale. Now, this simply compares the amount spent on PPC campaigns to the amount earned, and it's expressed as a percentage. Now, to calculate your ACOS, it is simply ad spend divided by ad revenue multiplied by 100. Make sure you put brackets around the ad spend divided by ad revenue and then multiply that by 100 and you will have your percentage. Now, the lower your ACOS, the better. So let me give you an example. If you were to spend £10 on advertising for a particular campaign for one of your products, in a day, you spent £10 and generated £100 worth of sales. your ACOS would be 10%. You can go ahead and put those numbers into that formula that I gave you, and you'll be presented with the 10% ACOS. Now, that means you spent £10 on ads to generate £100 worth of sales. Now, if your profit margin was 40%, you can see that that's a very profitable campaign or profitable search term that you're sponsoring. Now, what we're interested in when we're looking at this report is what search terms are making you money and what search terms aren't. So the first thing we're going to do is apply a filter here. We can see we've got this drop down arrow, and we are going to have a look at this particular column in ascending order and apply that filter. Now, what that's going to do is put them in ascending order, so we can see from the lowest right the way up to the highest ACOS search term. Now, everything underneath this point has not generated you any sales, but you've been spending money on these terms. So we can see here, we've got set, we've spent 54 pence, kitchen, 60 pence, cooking, 60 pence. This list, you'll find, guys, over a month, it can be extremely long, and there's a lot of wastage. We can see £18 on this particular keyword here, stainless, that has generated us nothing. So what we want to do is remove all of these search terms that are not generating us any sales over that period. So we're just going to remove them all. Now, what we're left with is a list here of customer search terms from our campaign that are not necessarily profitable, but they have converted to sales. Now, what we can do from here, remember I mentioned to you guys that the lower the ACOS, the better. If we go right the way down, what I like to do is at about 55%, we're going to remove all the keywords that have more. We'll look here from, we'll look from the 56 mark here. So from pi, all of these keywords have got, in my opinion, an ACOS which is too high. It's not going to be profitable. If you've got a 50% margin on your product, these keywords are going to be break even. Now, there are some arguments why you would continue to sponsor a particular term that has got a break-even ACOS purely because it's driving a lot of sales and helping with your ranking. But for this example, we're going to remove these keywords. Now, what we're left with are search terms that have an ACOS that is lower, making sure that I'm in the right line here, that is lower than 53%. Now, we can see here, some of them go right the way down. We've got an ACOS here of 10%. So you spent £5 on the search term plasters and generated £51.31 from that spend. Now, that's obviously a very profitable search term for you. And we can see it goes down even further. We look here, £4.29 spent, 59 generated in sales. This is one of my own search term reports. I've just replaced these with some example customer search terms here for privacy reasons. But these terms are working. The other ones are wasting you money and inflating your ACOS. So we're going to take those away, and we're going to copy this list of search terms from here right the way up to the top. And you're going to make a list of these terms in a Word document, or you can open a separate page in your Excel, and you're going to run a manual campaign sponsoring all of these terms. Now, my suggestion would be, if we look at the cost per click, what you've been paying, you've got an idea of what won you the click for that term. I would look at matching these cost per clicks with your bid, because we don't want to go too high as of yet. I'd like initially, when you're first doing this, to have another period of time where you can confirm that these keywords are performing with that particular bid. And then we can have a look at manipulating bid to try to bring the cost per click down and see how that affects sales. So go and set up a manual campaign and compare the two, guys. See how your ACOS presents itself from an optimized campaign, from this very simple method for you to use. People can often overcomplicate the process of optimization. And yes, is a lot more that can be done, but for a beginner, this is a very good place to start. So go and set up a manual campaign, sponsor these terms, and compare the period that you initially ran with all of that wastage that we looked at down here, with the new campaign that is only sponsoring proven search terms that are generating you sales. So hope you guys found that useful. Let me know anything underneath in the comment section if you'd like to know anything more. I can elaborate further on what all of these top of the column sections mean, the titles. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.